WWII medical miracles that saved millions and could save you today. Subscribe to After the Sirens, share this video with fellow historians and survival-minded thinkers, and leave a comment if you value serious, evidence-driven history that still matters today. Because, well, what you're about to hear is not nostalgia. It is knowledge that continues to keep people alive in disasters, wars, and remote environments right now. In the chaos of the Second World War, medicine was forced to evolve faster than at any point in human history. Doctors did not have the luxury of perfection. They needed results under fire, with limited tools, little time, and overwhelming casualties. What emerged from that pressure were medical breakthroughs that quietly shaped modern trauma care, emergency medicine, and survival protocols. These were not theoretical advancements. They were hard-earned solutions written in blood, mud, and urgency. And, honestly, many remain shockingly relevant today. The war changed medicine by forcing speed, simplicity, and practicality over tradition. Before WWII, battlefield medicine was slow and conservative. Wounded soldiers often died not from the initial injury, but from shock, infection, or blood loss hours later. The war demanded a radical shift. Medics learned that survival depended on immediate intervention at the point of injury, rather than delayed treatment far behind the lines. This insight gave birth to modern triage, prioritizing who could be saved with limited resources. Today, this same principle is used in mass casualty incidents, disaster zones, and emergency rooms worldwide. Survivalists apply it by learning to identify life-threatening bleeding and airway compromise before worrying about minor wounds. Blood transfusion systems became mobile, standardized, and, well, truly life-saving under fire. During the Second World War, large-scale use of stored blood was perfected. Doctors learned how to collect, type, refrigerate, and transport blood safely across continents. Portable blood banks followed armies into battle, allowing medics to replace lost blood within minutes instead of hours. This innovation, honestly, drastically reduced deaths from hemorrhagic shock. In modern survival terms, the lesson is clear. Uncontrolled bleeding is the fastest killer. Tourniquet use, once discouraged, is now standard again because World War II data proved that stopping blood loss early saves lives. Learning proper tourniquet placement and pressure remains, perhaps, one of the most practical survival skills today. Antibiotics moved from laboratory curiosity to battlefield necessity. Penicillin existed before the Second World War, but the war turned it into a mass-produced miracle. Infections that once guaranteed amputation or death suddenly became manageable. Soldiers survived wounds that would have been fatal only a decade earlier. This shifted medicine's focus from merely treating symptoms to preventing complications. Today, understanding infection control remains vital. Cleaning wounds thoroughly, recognizing early signs of infection, and using antibiotics responsibly are survival principles rooted directly in wartime experience. The war also taught that misuse breeds resistance, a lesson modern medicine continues to relearn at great cost. Combat surgery became faster, more aggressive, and frankly, brutally effective. World War II surgeons abandoned long, elaborate procedures in favor of rapid damage control surgery. The goal was not perfection, but stabilization. They removed debris, controlled bleeding, prevented contamination, and moved on. This approach saved countless lives and directly influenced modern trauma surgery. In survival settings, the philosophy translates into doing only what is necessary to keep someone alive until definitive care is possible. Knowing when not to intervene can be just as important as knowing how. Shock was finally understood as a physiological enemy, not a moral weakness. Before the Second World War, shock was poorly understood and, well, often fatal. Wartime doctors identified it as a measurable collapse of circulation and oxygen delivery. They learned to treat it with fluids, warmth, and rapid intervention. This knowledge, honestly, transformed emergency medicine. For survivalists, it really reinforces the importance of preventing heat loss, maintaining hydration, and recognizing early signs of circulatory collapse. A wounded person lying cold and still is not resting. They are dying unless action is taken. Field hospitals became organized systems instead of improvised shelters. The war introduced layered medical evacuation, from frontline aid stations to mobile surgical hospitals to rear facilities. Each step had a specific purpose and time window. This system, dramatically increased survival rates. Today's emergency response frameworks mirror this structure. Even in civilian preparedness, the lesson applies. Planning evacuation routes, medical handoff points, and stage treatment areas increases survival in any crisis. Medical innovation during the Second World War was not driven by comfort or theory, but really by necessity. Doctors learned what worked because, failure meant death within minutes or hours. This stripped medicine down to its essentials: stop bleeding, prevent infection, maintain circulation, act fast. Those priorities remain unchanged even today. Modern technology may look different, but the underlying principles are, absolutely identical. These medical miracles still matter because, quite simply, the human body has not changed. Trauma behaves the same way it did in 1944. Blood loss, infection, shock, and delayed care remain the primary killers. Whether on a battlefield, in a natural disaster, or in a remote environment, survival still depends on the lessons learned under fire 8 decades ago. Medicine during the Second World War was not heroic because it was advanced. It was heroic because, frankly, it was effective. The doctors and medics of the war did not chase elegance, they chased survival. That mindset reshaped medicine forever, and it continues to guide those who take preparedness seriously even now. If this kind of history matters to you, do consider subscribing to After the Sirens. Share this video with others who respect serious scholarship, and of course, comment below with the wartime medical topic you want examined next. This channel exists to preserve knowledge that still saves lives.